And welcome back to another edition of Completely Unoriginal here at DakotaBroadcasting.com, your source for everything nerd. I'm Adam St. Paul, along with Kurt Campbell
Hello.
and Tony Zer down in Redfield via phone. Gentlemen, welcome back as always.
Thank you very much.
What's up?
Not too much. I think we're going to jump right into it because we only have 20 minutes, and I don't know if that's going to be enough time. Around 20 minutes or so. It's about the time.
Fisticuffs, I tell you.
I don't know if we're going to have enough time to actually get to everything that I want to really, tear into Tony Zer about when it comes to Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
All right, well, let's get into it.
So,
was it Batman versus Super Dude? Isn't that what you called it, Tony?
Yep, Batman versus Super Dude.
couple of house cleaning things before we get into this. One, this is going to be a completely spoiler-filled review.
Yeah, if you don't want to know about what happens in the movie, although you probably already do from the movie trailer, don't listen because we're not keeping anything back.
Kurt Campbell will act as a judge and maybe a little bit of a moderator as well, as he has not seen the film, but he does not care.
Don't care.
And Tony will be arguing from a place of it wasn't that bad, I think, and I'm actually also arguing from, I'm making it sound like it's this epic battle, but I think we'll be maybe a little bit more in agreement than I make it out to be. Tony has been on a show called Movie Fights on the Screen Junkies YouTube page. This is going to be our version of that, basically.
It's a knockoff. We're not,
Well,
not
that's why
afraid
we're
to admit
completely
it.
unoriginal.
That's right. It's in the name of the show, for crying out loud. But yeah, I don't know, you guys. This is a who thought it was more meh than the other kind of thing. So it'll be interesting.
So I guess we'll get right into it. Tony, what were your thoughts on the movie?
I think it's a good catalyst for movies to come. The short and curlies of it is it's a good catalyst for movies to come. And if you know stuff about the history of some of these characters and some of the villains that they want to bring into the universe, a lot of the convoluted mess that people talk about in it, it's spelled out if you actually know what you're watching. And also, I have people have been talking about how it's Superman and he's so this and he's so that, and I'm going to fight for our Superman these days. So.
Okay, first off, real quick, what villains are you talking about? Have they announced that they're bringing into this universe? I think I know what you're going to get at, but I'm not sure. Well, they didn't announce anything. It was just all these little hidden things. I think Darkseid's coming. Okay, did you get that from the one of the several dream sequences in this movie?
Exactly. That's
okay.
Yeah, and so you have him crawling out of the bunker, and it's like Mad Max apocalyptic times and shit like that. You see, at least what I thought I saw was Darkseid's little Omega symbol scorched into the earth.
People have pointed that out. I know what you're getting at. I was just making sure. Because I was going to say I have not heard anything in regards to future movies, the Justice League and everything. I mean, they're happening, but when it comes to announcing villains and characters and everything like that. All right, I'm going to start off first with the very beginning of the movie. There is no narrative thrust, as it were. I'm going to steal Jay Bauman's line from Red Letter Media. There's just it is just a collection of scenes to begin the movie. Would you agree with that, Tony, or do you disagree?
Well,
it goes from place to place like an episode of Game of Thrones, and there are no establishing shots. You have no idea where you are half the time. And this is just like to begin.
Well, I don't know. First of all, I loved the way the Waynes died. I mean, I know that everybody's.
You can thank Frank Miller for that.
They're like, do we need another backstory on Batman? Yes, for some people you do. And I loved the way that the Waynes died because just cinematically the way it was shot was awesome. But also, his parents didn't go down like dogs, man. They both went down fighting. They both went down trying to get that gun away from that dude, and that's why they both got shot. They didn't go down like little biznitches, they were fighting and shit like that, and that's hell yeah, man. I want to see the comedian fight in a Zack Snyder movie. Damn it!
It is. Yeah, it's the comedian. What's his name?
He's playing Negan in The Walking Dead. He's a Canadian actor.
Yeah,
his name's
either way,
escaping me.
He has a very small cameo as Thomas Wayne, and isn't it Maggie from Walking Dead playing Martha Wayne?
I think you're right about that.
Lauren Cohan.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, they have no speaking roles. And
I love her.
It's just
gorgeous.
it's just in a beginning flashback, one of the many flashbacks in this film.
It seems kind of retcon the whole Wayne, the whole Wayne backstory. I mean, his parents were not tough people. They were wealthy society types.
Tony is making it sound a lot. I mean, it's slow motion. It's just to. It's like under credits. It's not okay. It is not a very large part of the film.
All right.
But honestly, if you think about it, without that very, very large part of the film, then when Batman's beating the frickin' snot out of Superman and he's about ready to take his frickin' head off, and then he says, they're gonna kill Martha. Like, dude, that was like a pinnacle moment in the movie. You had to have that.
Yes, Batman does not kill Superman because their mothers share the same name. If anything, that is convenient. That is not a good reason not to kill, especially if you've been preparing your entire months, you're getting back into shape, you're breaking into LexCorp to steal kryptonite, which we didn't see. You're going through all this trouble, and you're not going to kill someone who you say, in a quote in the movie, or Batman says, a quote in the movie, if there is even 1% chance he is our villain, we have to take that as the utmost scrutiny, security, all that kind of stuff. You're not going to kill him because he has the same first name. Your mothers share the same first name. It's garbage.
I thought Batman just didn't kill, period.
Well, I was going to get to that, too. He is Murder Man in this movie. He kills without... Tony, he kills without abandonment in this. Doesn't matter. He's Murder Man.
Everybody killed somebody in this movie, man.
Exactly. So how are you gonna go back on that if you stick in this universe now? I mean, why in the next movie when Jared Leto is taking on Batman in the solo Ben Affleck Batman movie, why doesn't he just put a bullet through his head?
Because in Batman's eyes, especially if you look at his dream sequence, when he interacts with Superman during his dream sequence, in Batman's eyes, Superman is an evil frickin' person, man.
So that gives him leeway to kill, just random criminals. Batman? Yeah, he kills people when he's trying to steal the kryptonite the first time, and I'm guessing he killed people that we didn't see, probably 20 people off screen when he breaks into LexCorp.
Let's not worry about who Batman killed in the frickin' movie. Okay, let's not worry about that.
No, but Tony,
let's talk about the one thing that we need to talk about here, and that's the question that you pose as to saying that you think it's garbage that him uttering the word Martha wouldn't spark something in Batman's head, because now he sees this is not some cold alien from outer space that's here to maybe just destroy the planet if he wants. This is a person. This is a human being. Not really, but this guy has. Maybe I'm going about this the wrong way. I honestly think that when he said that, I mean, come on, dude.
What do you?
Put yourself in his position. Put yourself in his position.
Tony, and you posted today how you are a petition to keep Zack Snyder on to make the Justice League movies. That's fine. That's already happening. Point is, if we get your way and he stays on, tell me, what is going to prevent Batman from simply putting a bullet in Jared Leto's head? He's killed in this movie, and he kills with reckless abandonment. The Joker has killed Robin, for crying out loud.
One word, man, leverage. That's the one thing the Joker always had on Batman was leverage.
So
man.
Kill him. I don't know, Kurt. Kurt, weigh in here.
All I can say is,
if you remove the Batman's reluctance to kill, he's the Punisher with a cowl.
Well, that's just it. Yeah. See, it's my understanding that Batman not killing anyone is core to his character. It's an important part of the character, from what I understand. Now, I'm not as big a Batman connoisseur as I'm sure both of you gentlemen are, and probably, but it just seems to me that that's a huge change from canon to make Batman a multiple murderer.
Yes.
So
okay, well, hear me out here. Okay, then let's say this is the start of something, and after all of this death and all this mayhem, maybe Batman turns a new leaf.
See, now, I would accept that if they would have set it up a little bit better, because that's the thing. This movie doesn't set up anything. If Alfred would have said, you are getting too dark, Bruce. The Superman is driving you crazy. You need to back it off, and he doesn't realize what he's doing. There's no setup like that. There's no narrative to that at all. It's just Batman going out in the action and everything like that.
If Batman had said, "I'll never kill again," then I'd have been okay.
He does. There's no mention, and Superman kills in this movie indiscriminately at the beginning.
That's nothing new. He did that in Man of Steel accidentally,
exactly.
apparently.
He turns a what's it called, an African warlord into soup, basically, by bringing him through. You don't actually see it, but
no.
I mean, he hits him through a brick wall with his super speed. So
ouch!
He doesn't have any bones left, basically. When that's
that's why I wanted. That's one of the other things I wanted to talk about was. Everybody talks about how Superman's so dark and it's not my Superman and they're going back to Christopher Reeves and all that shit. And here's my deal with Superman. The thing is they're trying to set these in a real world atmosphere. Like this shit's going on CNN. You saw it. Anderson Cooper was all over that frickin' movie. You even had what's his name? Frickin' Charlie Rose was on the movie and everything like that. I mean, they want to set this in a real life atmosphere. Okay, we're talking real life shit. Imagine if you were an adopted alien that was grown up by a guy that says you can't use these massive frickin' powers that you have unless you've actually decided as to what you want to use them for. He never gave him the road. He just showed him where the road was. And so imagine the inner turmoil of this guy. He's not going to be all jokey and bubbly and happy and shit. No, he's a fucking mess.
You got I think that for the most part, there's a long montage of Superman saving people from like a flood and an exploding rocket ship. And during that montage, everything is dour. It's slow motion, poor music. Superman has this look of a burden on his face. It's not pleasant. It's not fun to watch. God forbid that, and that's why people like the Avengers more. They actually look like they're enjoying themselves while they're saving people's lives.
Now, not having seen it, I can only give my my opinion from outside here, but it sounds like it's just being grim for the sake of being grim.
He wants to propose the question, if there was a Superman, real life Superman, how would we react? Because we as human beings, and Tony is absolutely right.
No,
in that people wouldn't like it. People would be scared of him.
Absolutely.
People would be confused. But don't we see that enough already? I mean, isn't this supposed to be escapism?
Well, I mean, you have that with the Marvel movies, and they're like Jim Henson looking puppets.
No, that's unfair. That's unfair.
Just saying, dude. Like
Tony
you have Marvel,
throwing blows.
You have Marvel, which is the sun. Okay, Marvel is the sun. All right, and it's just as big as the sun and everything like that. The DC universe is the moon here, guys. This is something different. They're not going to bring Batman as a dark character. And you put Batman.
Yeah, Batman is a dark character. Absolutely, no one's ever disputed that.
But Superman, in the history of Superman, has never been a dark, broody type.
Truth, justice, and the American way.
Well, he may not be Mr. Jokes a lot, but he's always been very positive and I'm here to help and we can make the world better. He's been a force for good.
Exactly.
So I can't buy. I find it hard to buy into that.
I'm
to
sorry,
the dark
but
Superman.
If you released a Superman. Just like Superman 1 with Christopher Reeves, even with updated effects, all of that movie, it would be a complete bomb. You would not be able to sell that movie.
You can't do Christopher Reeves corny Superman in today's day and age, but you can do something with a little bit of levity.
But that's what you guys want.
No, I want something with a little bit of levity, and it's something that doesn't look like saving human lives is a burden to the person who is it's
choosing to do it.
Yes, exactly. We are running out of time, so I'm going to move on here, Tony. Lex Luthor hated Superman because?
I'm sorry?
Lex Luthor hated Superman because why?
Because Lex Luthor is power hungry. That's what and I had this discussion with my dad last night.
And me on Facebook, but
that is what every single person out there that is asking that question is missing about Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor is all about power. He wants power. That's all he wants. So before Superman came in Man of Steel, Lex Luthor had the ability to be the most powerful being on the planet. Now, Superman drops down with his superpowers, and that's another thing that people forget, is that Lex Luthor has always been jealous of Superman's powers. So that is exactly why Lex Luthor is going after Superman, because he wants to be the number one. He wants to be the Omega, and he's not. Or the Alpha, sorry.
You're reading into a lot of these things, because he never overtly says that he hates Superman, he hates his powers. I understand that you can't just go out there, I hate Superman, that's why I'm doing this. He has these long diatribes about God and their relation. If anything, he hates God. The idea of God, and Superman is the closest thing to that. And fine, whatever. But you say that he's used to being the most powerful being on the planet. The hackney job of writing in the Justice League in this movie proves that he knows he's not the most powerful being on the planet, and he hasn't gone after Aquaman, the Flash, Wonder Woman, or that terrible Cyborg, but or anyone that they've gone after. And now he decides to go after Superman, and once again in the most hackneyed, convoluted way he possibly could. He ends up kidnapping Martha Kent in order to force Superman to fight Batman. So and then he says, if man won't kill God, the devil will do it, and he releases Doomsday. He intended for Batman to kill Superman. Why doesn't he just give him the kryptonite then? Why doesn't he just and how did he know that Batman was getting ready and building up for this fight when they're not working together? It's a complete mess.
Well, dude, you have to admit, the ultimate goal is to defeat Superman. Mm-hmm. Lex Luthor can't do that. So what's what is his first level of strategy? Is sick Superman on Batman. Get rid of two birds at once, man. Get rid of them both at once. And then when it all goes to hell, he's okay. God, I'm getting all flustered here and stuff.
That's fine.
The whole thing is that Lex Luthor does not want Superman or Batman on this planet. Because and you ask, why doesn't he go after the other metahumans that are out there and stuff? He's got them on file. That's his hit list, man. He's going to go after them as soon as he eliminates the biggest threat on the planet to him and to everybody and to all of his interests and everything. I'm not reading too much into it. You just have to think. You just have to look back at the character of Lex Luthor and know that, first of all, he's egotistical. Second of all, he's power hungry, and third of all, he's jealous of Superman's powers. That's always been Lex. If you had a trading card of Lex Luthor, those are the three things that'll be on the back.
See, you said you need to show Batman's parents die at the beginning because some people don't know about it. I think a lot less people know that Lex Luthor's motivations from the comics and cartoons and whatnot than they do about Batman's origins of losing his parents. You need to show that. You need to do a better job displaying why it is that Lex Luthor is A, jealous of him, and B, how power hungry he is, because Jesse Eisenberg did not do a good job as Lex Luthor. He tries to come off as, I think, psychotic OCD, and it's laughable. At the end of the movie, Tony, when he's in the jail cell and he's going ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, that's supposed to be scary. That's supposed to be menacing. I was laughing, and I challenge you to say that you weren't.
Oh, no. Okay, we want to talk about how Jesse Eisenberg played the character. That's a completely different.
Okay, that's fine. That's fair.
I'm going to go back to this. You're saying, they didn't put anything in there as to how power hungry he was. Every single time that Lex Luthor got up and talked in front of somebody in a long diatribic thing, you must not have been listening to these stories that he's talking about, because each of them was talking about how one man was given the power to the world, or to the kingdom, or to the heavens, and stuff like that. He's talking about all this, and you can see that's where the jealousy comes from. He even kind of snaps on a reporter for a second because he's so freaked out over it all. You need to listen to the words that he's saying and not just look at the fact.
You need to read between the lines and interpret it the way I'm interpreting it, or you don't know what you're talking about. That's what you're saying, Mr. Zern.
I'm just saying that this is a character. If you listen to his dialogue, you'll see that he's just power hungry and he's super jealous of Superman. You listen to his dialogue. Listen to it. That's all matters.
It sounds like a little bit, again, not having seen it, but it sounds like sloppy storytelling and script and screenplay writing. if they're not able to, narrow it down to specifics for people. In a movie, it doesn't matter how much the world that a movie is coming from in a comic book or other show type of way. You have to explain it in the movie. Or the movie doesn't make sense to the person who doesn't know that backstory.
And I don't understand Lex Luthor's plan, like I said. And now, see, you claim he can control. I mean, online you said that you claim he can control Doomsday, but Doomsday is uncontrollable in the comics, and this is me reading between the lines here. And also, after he kills, if he succeeded and killed Superman like he was planning, and Batman and Wonder Woman, whoever, what was he gonna do with him after that? Destroy the entire world? Then Lex Luthor has a scorched earth to rule over?
I was wrong. I'll put that out there right now.
Okay.
When it comes to Doomsday, I like rethought about it and everything like that, and I was like, dude, I honestly think that at that point in time, Lex Luthor lost all of his leverage because Batman comes in and steals the kryptonite from Lex Luthor, and you see the look of just dread on his face when he sees that empty box, and then all of a sudden he's going to the ship and he's lost it at this point. He doesn't know where to go, so he's just going to do the next best thing. He's going to unleash hell on Earth.
See, now that's a much better reasoned plan, or your idea. I think better than saying that he can control Doomsday as to what he wants to do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that he can. I just think that maybe that was when he finally cracked and he said, "Fine, if I can't rule this world and I don't have any more leverage and I'm basically fucked right now, then what am I going to do? Everybody's going to die."
Mm-hmm. And that I accept a little bit more. What did you? We're running a little long here, Tony. But what did you think about the way that the writers chose to introduce the Justice League characters? And for Kurt, just to let you know, Batman hacks LexCorp's mainframe or main computer, and finds that there are literally files on these metahumans, as they're called.
Yeah.
And Wonder Woman he emails Wonder Woman a picture of her in Belgium. She looks exactly the same back in World War I. And then
next to Chris Pine too.
Next to Chris Pine, yes, because he's going to be in the Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah.
But next thing you know, in the email, there's literally icons that has a lightning bolt and a cyborg look and Aquaman, and she double clicks on all of them, and they just have these quick little cameos. I thought it was the most shoehorned thing ever. It was like in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 when he's walking through the room and there's Doc Ock's arms and the Vulture's wings and so on and so forth. What were your thoughts?
I thought that was really cool. I'm really glad that they did that instead of putting something at the end of the credits or anything like that. I'm really glad that they threw that in there, because that's exactly what Wonder Woman was looking for, was those files so she could get that picture back from him. I mean, so that puts Wonder Woman in the story, first of all, and second of all, I just think it's a cool way to introduce. I mean, who doesn't like watching those weird videos on YouTube of like strange occurrences on security cameras? That little thing with the Flash, that was awesome. And the music for that, everybody's giving Hans Zimmer such a crap time about the music, but in that scene right there, when that happens, the music that kicked in, ooh, I got chills, because I love the Flash. And then Aquaman, I hate undersea stuff. I hate, like, when you see, James Cameron's going down to the Titanic, and hey, look at the Titanic. I think that shit is creepy. And so when you see them going down into that coral reef and everything, that all of a sudden here comes Aquaman out, and he looks at that camera, and then he just stabs it with his trident. That was awesome. And then then you look at the Cyborg thing, and that was cool just because the guy that created Cyborg is the same guy that created the Terminator.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. But all I know is I think James Wan speaks for himself when he says that his movie will be fun and have color, rather than hack Snyder. And he didn't come out and say it that way, but he did say my Aquaman is going to be fun, it's going to be light, it's going to be things like that. So he's going away from the hack Snyder version of things. Tony, you probably won this fight. I don't know. I think I did, but we'll let the listeners decide. Kurt, you don't have to weigh in on that if you want.
You both made valid points, so I think it's a draw.
But in the end, It was a lot of fun, and maybe we'll keep arguing this. But before we go, Kurt, you wanted to give a plug in a new kind of segment. We're doing.
Real quick, we're doing a new thing. So Tony, be prepared for this because next week will probably be your turn. At the end of every show, we're just going to pick one thing that we like that we think other people should check out.
Podcasts, books,
movies, anything.
Music.
It can be new, it can be old, it can be just something you like that you think other people will like and should check out. So mine is for you guys and for everybody, as a matter of fact, the newest video on demand from Riff Tracks of this horrible movie from 1991 called Samurai Cop.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen it?
I've seen Samurai.
Oh, it's bad.
Yes.
Oh, it's so... Oh, I would be willing to do a show about that. It's so awful. But the riff of it is genius. So, Tony, you got to check that out. And, Adam, you need to check it out, too, online. It's just so good. That's my recommendation for this week.
I'll check. I'll make sure I run right to Blockbuster and pick up a copy.
No, it's a video on demand. You just download the whole thing.
No, but he's going to Blockbuster. Let him go to Blockbuster.
All right. Well, good luck. All right. The coffee people might want to wonder what you're up to.
I think there's one left in Alaska.
Oh, okay.
That's gonna do it for today's edition of Completely Unoriginal. I'm Adam St. Paul, and for Kurt Campbell and Tony Zer. Until the next time.